And welcome back to The Watchman, only right here on TBN. Ambassador Eitan Levan has a very important role as Consul General of Israel to the Southwest United States. Now, that is a large geographical area that includes the state of Texas. That's where I caught up with Ambassador Levan recently at the 35th Annual Cornerstone Church Night to Honor Israel in San Antonio, where he joined Pastor John Hagee, Ambassador John Bolton, and others in reaffirming the strong relationship between Israel and the United States. Take a look. Give us an idea, you're a diplomat. When something like UNESCO, this horrific resolution comes down, how do you jump into action and fight back against it?
Well, here in the Southwest, we cover 6 states, Texas and 5 other states. We just measured in a way that we are talking about Italy, France, and Germany combined. This is the area that we cover here, and we have here so many friends in this region that it helps us a lot to show our case, to explain our situation in the Middle East, which is very complicated, but with our friends and allies, we can do it here in the Southwest very, very nicely.
Yeah, now you're based in Houston, Texas.
Right.
I want to talk more about those friends of Israel, particularly Christian friends of Israel here in the U.S., the important role they play in a second. But you talked about kind of the diplomatic half of the struggle that Israel's facing at the UN and beyond. I want to talk right now about the more military terror struggle that Israel's locked in against shared enemies, Israel and America, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, ISIS, etc.
Our region, our neighborhood is a very tough neighborhood in which Israel lives and thrives and develops. And we try also to develop the Middle East in general, but it's very difficult when you have such components like what you have in Syria, in Libya, in Iraq, in Egypt, in the Sinai Peninsula. You've got so many destructive elements, and they are all around us, but we know exactly how to handle it. The question of Syria is very, very awkward and very complicated because, and we say also that it's like some kind of a psychedelic picture there because nobody knows who is against whom. But what you can see is that, and this is something we said before, we have a lot of Iranian influence in the region, which is a bad influence. It's also in Yemen, in Libya, in Syria for sure. And they are sponsoring terror with their proxies like the Hezbollah, like the Houthis in Yemen. So you see now that Iran tries to get some kind of advantage from this chaos which is in Syria. You have also the ISIS factor, but ISIS is now in a little bit of a defense mode, so we don't know exactly how it's going to be. But we follow it and monitor it from Israel.
Talk a bit more about how Iran remains a major, major threat, not just to Israel, but to the world at large.
A lot of people in the West are really hoping, and they were hoping that some deals with Iran will be able to make the ones who are more moderate stronger. So they were hoping for a stronger moderate factor in Iran. But what we see is that the only ones to gain from any agreement are the elements which are very extreme, like the regime itself today. They got strong, and there is no really, you don't really see any ease of their brutal regime over the area. They sponsor terrorism all around the Middle East. They have a lot of plans. They are building missiles which will cover not only Israel, but they are going to cover Europe, and they are thinking for the future to cover also the United States in a way that the United States will not be able to fight them in a way that they can do it before.
Those ICBMs.
Of course, the ICBMs.
Actively working on, of course.
Exactly. And that's, they have a mission. They know exactly what they want to do. They want to continue to be a very negative factor in the Middle East. And we have to find our allies, and also in the region we have also allies. Some of them don't say it out loud, but we know that they are worried like we are, because some of those guys really want the Middle East to be prosperous and not like it is today.
Well, Ambassador, we're here at the 35th Annual Night to Honor Israel at Cornerstone Church in San Antonio. Talk a bit about how that Christian support for Israel means so much to Israel and the Jewish people.
It means for us so much, and we value it, we appreciate it. It's vital for our national security. It's part of our national security. Not only tanks will keep us safe, but also the support of the Christians here. And as one who was in Europe for a long time, when I came here to the Southwest, I was amazed to see so much friendship and flags of Israel outside places. It was so great to see the support. It's so important for us, this support of the Christian community here, and we appreciate it tremendously.
Coming up, The Watchman hits the set of TBN's Praise Show with Matt and Laurie Crouch to talk about the biblical mandate for Christians to stand with Israel and the Jewish people. That's coming up after the break. Stick around.